What? Good YouTube, and welcome to everything, and I mean just about everything, starting to fall down in price over in Stampede. What happened? I thought the set was red hot. Everything was skyrocketing just a bit ago. Gamer's Choice told me how hard it is to sort this set, and one of the things I hated most about vending when I did was sorting. It took about 6 times the amount of time and effort to sort this as one regular core set, and then for listing, you've got to do all those different individual listings and make sure you get it right. So now vendors finally have their stock online through about the same time and getting to it. And with that, we're seeing every single top end card come back down. A lot of the graphs look just like this, where now it's 60, 61, and tons of listings. You get to 65 by the end. So it's not the most copies under those market price, but the competition, because supply versus demand, the supply has gone up and the demand is still about the same, if not even less, from people having rushed at it and gone and gotten their cards. You can even see with a top contender like Trap Dust Shoot, we're starting to see some cheaper listings. One here at 50, then we get 55 and another 51 actually there, and then it starts to go back up towards that 60 it was. So for some of these, not the most quantities, and they're easily erased. For others, they've just come way back down. Remember Diabellstar was trying to push up towards 120? Here it is. There's a listing from a top-rated seller at just about $102-ish, and then it does go up, but tons of them under 110 as that competition comes back versus those prices. My thoughts are a lot of this will probably end up rebounding over time, but in the immediate, that competition to make sales that want to actually get a turnover rate on your money, people are going to be listing under each other on certain cards, and some of them are falling out even harder than I thought, like this Blue Eyes. But again, I've pointed out, while a ton of people champion this art, others say it's ugly and looks like a chicken laying an egg. I have this in Giant card. I'm a fan, but not everybody is. You can see here, it was mostly rebounding, and now tons of listings at $45 as the competition ramps up, and they're all top-rated sellers. It's good if you've been waiting for this set, and it might be about time to pick and choose a couple of things before people decide they're double down buyouts. We have Dominus Impulse going way up for this metagame. Everyone's been talking about it, so I've been dragging my heels. I do think it's a staple, worth it for the people who have to sink it in for the WCQ. I don't think this would be a target for Battles of Legend. However, the people mad spending on the QCR after we talk about this $80+ secret rare, heading more towards 90 actually. Check this out, like the sales are towards 87, 86, 85, and they're all gone. So I think it's that mentality of, I need it for the WCQ, I need it for the WCQ season, I've picked my deck out and I'm ready. Well, the QCR has sales all the way in the 200s consistently now. Look at all of those. And the lowest listing is around 230 from a 0% feedback seller before they're in the 300s. I think Konami very well could be looking at the Megatons, thinking of what a star seller would be, and saying, look what missed their chances for Starlights. Oh, here's Dominus Impulse and Starlight Rare for the first time. It could happen. That's pure speculation, but the people overpaying into this just because it's QCR, so it should hold value. Do remember what QCRs did to Starlights when the QCRs were cheaper, and now think of the reverse possibility of cheap Starlights and what they can do to QCR prices in the immediate should that happen, and having a very comparable looking copy. I've run that conversation in the ground, haven't I? Stake Your Soul Collector Rare is really getting sales up here towards $70.69, not so nice, after they were just selling for under 20 less than a month ago and through the month at 30. The lowest copies here are towards that range, 68, 67, 70. Let me know if you think this is overcompensation for a rogue deck like often happens, or do you think it's too slept on and it's going to punch up through the meta, it's going to take some event with the new support. Let me know how you feel about these sales, and every version of Stake Your Soul is starting to go up at this point. point. Obedience School is $5 for like every copy except the Mega Pack Super, which has one lister here with just one copy at 2 some odd before it's up towards $5 like the rest of them. I just want to note, and the Discord pointed this out to me, that this has been reprinted in the OCG alongside the yummy stuff that it's for, and we could see that here in the TCG. It's a very historied card where you could see like a collector rare version or something even crazy high, and then an easy access version within the set as well. So be aware that there is not really a max rarity. People are spending about the same on all of these, but they're on buyout mode right now. I'd personally be selling into that most likely, since it's for an archetype that could have that reprint with it anyways within its set. Decode Talker Heat Soul Quarter Century Secret Rare is what I'm right about for all the wrong reasons. I thought this had potential way long ago. I thought it would have been up in price way long ago. You can even see it trailing just down and devastated over time. A little bit of hype down and devastated, and finally culminating as we're here with the support for Cyber's good stuff. So be aware, this is a $20 QCR right now, and people are spending 15s at least on this, which is towards the record price since I want to say it's pre-sales when it debuted. Now, it has tons of different access copies if you just want to get one, thanks to that being a Rarity Collection upgrade for a quarter century secret rare. Speaking of, Artifact Lancia has respiked like crazy, $70 lowest, and you can see sales all the way up to $57, $45, and $50 on this buyout, and tons at $40, and it was selling for about $30 in the dip. This is still a great anti-malice tech. I would assume that's what it's for throughout this season, as you're still going to want to stop banish stuff even if shifters at 1. So yeah, or is it forbidden? I have to relook at the list. That list was so hype, I was just marking out a bit. But point still there, it's still great against stopping banished cards. You see the Platinum Secret actually selling out, the Secret Rare even going down in quantities and copies, but when it comes down to it, thanks to being Rarity Collection, you have easy access versions if you just want to snag one. Speaking of, we have King of the Swamp, and this is actually for, I want to say, Dragon Tales. This has the Prismatic Secret Rare out of Speed Duel that did not get a nice upgrade in the quarter century secret rare, an old school dual terminal, even a Hobby League Super, which looks very, very nice. I have a couple of those back in my collection, but you still have easier access versions. Remember, these really spiked up so hard back a while ago, and it hasn't necessarily got more quantities besides that OTS Pack 20 common that can be eaten up off the market if this does take off. This is mainly for Dragoon again. Dragoon is going up in price too for its quarter century secret rare, and very consistently. At first I thought it was just like, oh, it's a tech option, oh, it's buyouts because it's all those quarter century secret rares are going and this is an iconic one. It's going mainly for this reason alongside King of the Swamp now, and you can see the sales are very, very, very real, all the way through $35. Man with the Mark is back down despite all the success. This is what happens when Rogue gets a bit overhyped. Remember them shooting way up and getting full buyouts. Now it's back towards $8, even with everything that it's shown it can do, and that it wasn't just a fluke. This is more realistic Rogue pricing throughout the actual course rather than that hype train. I feel like this one's a little underestimated. I went through a whole discussion on Twitter that Jeff Jones was having and reading through it, and he thinks there's a lot of potential for this to end up one day being so powerful that it gets banned. However, you can see recently it dipped and then respiked. I still think people are underestimating this for one reason at 26, but that's through the WCQ season, and then it enters reprint season and all these different things. I still think it has so much potential though, because this set is so thirsty for value and it's floundering, and this card feels like it's underestimated through there and quantities could dry up over time. But that's just my opinion on Abao Aku. Let me know what you think about this card. Do you think it's overrepped? Do you think it's underestimated like I do? I think I turned my opinion towards that through Jeff Jones' discussion, and he really is good at calling these kind of things. Labyrinth Stovey Torby had a weird conversation in our Discord. They're finally buying out the non-waifu Labyrinth Hollows. This has been doing nothing but coming down, and suddenly it's bought out towards $4. I just thought it was a funny one, because typically we see all of the lab cards have some form of waifu. Heck, even this has some thighs on Welcome Labyrinth. But we recently had, you know, the Arius cosplayer doing it big at Houston, causing the spikes, and people are even after the OTS super pieces now. And then I don't think this would be for lab. I would think this is for more past formats, but every version of Compulse is continuing to surge, and we see the QCR towards $13+, but there's also the secret rare. Yeah, I believe there's multiple secrets, but for some reason people were buying out, I want to say the legendary collection one again, or something like that. It's so hard to find it through here, because here's 25th, there's Platinum, there's Joey's World. I think it was it this version? People pointed out some version to me that was ridiculous for what it was, and it may have been this, and it's sure taking its time to get to a near mint first, but no, it's only $230. Maybe it was specifically the Platinum Secret, and I'm just losing my marbles out here. But thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these more in-depth discussions as I ramble on about cardboard. And look, no merch for a day! Hooray for that, squad.